What's going on, Sagittarius? How are you doing? Hope you're doing super well. This is the Autistic Mystic, and this is going to be a reading for the week of May 15th to the 21st, 2023. So, in this reading, Sagittarius, we're going to take a look at your overall general energy for the upcoming week. We're going to take a look at some things you do not see coming. We're also going to get some advice from your angels and spirit guides, and so much more regarding this week for you. But before we begin this reading, as always, I do want to take a moment to let you know that you are very welcome here in this space with me as we go through this reading. And I really do appreciate you in advance, Sagittarius, for taking the time to check this reading out. Now, if this general reading happens to resonate with you, definitely smash that like button. Subscribe down below if you have not already for future updates. I would also really appreciate that, Sagittarius. But without further ado, let's go ahead and crank this reading, see what wants to come through for you. Now, you might see me dripping of sweat because the AC in this place went out, hence my shirt. It's all sweat. And I almost wasn't going to do the readings, but then I remembered, wait, I was going to do the fire signs today. Filming in heat, no problem. You know what I mean? So the show must go on. Let's get it. As always, I would like to thank the angels, the interdimensional beings, and the spirit guides who are overseeing this act of divination for the sign of Sagittarius. See what we got here. Okay, well, let's go ahead and start this reading off for you with some pre-shuffled oracle cards. What frequency do you need more of? What frequency do you need to embody for your highest good for this upcoming week? First thing you have here is change, Sagittarius, and that seems like the most random or the most like banal thing I could have said. Change, yeah. But what this means and what it's telling me very strongly is it doesn't matter what you do this week. Don't do the same thing you did last week. And I even mean that more daily. What I'm picking up on from this Sagittarius is like, you gotta do something, okay? You know, like when you meet the people who are like are robots or they do the same thing, and some of you, what I'm getting very strongly is like, hope you're listening, you're stuck in a routine of expansion. So maybe some of you are like, well, I always change. I'm an expat. I live here, I live there, I live there. I meet new people, I do it's like, but I understand that, but what I'm telling you is, whatever you've been doing, you need to change it. So, like, don't keep doing that, even if you're like, well, it's very changeable. No. It's like, introduce something completely new, is what I'm getting, okay? Now, you also have higher purpose. All right, higher purpose here, Sagittarius. So, with this energy, really start to embrace some of your destiny here, okay? There's something about you understanding much more viscerally, much more deeply this week about why you chose to incarnate here. You're going to have downloads about that. Now, some of you don't need any more information on it. That's what I'm getting. Some of you know why you're here, and it's time to actually take action on that higher purpose, okay? So things like higher purpose, and even in this reading, there is something about embracing pain, because usually, always, if you're going on the path of your higher purpose instead of your lower purpose, which includes eating all day, having sex all day, escapism, drugs, blah, blah, whatever, lower purpose, higher purpose, when you're on the higher purpose, you're going to run into pain, but the pain will transform you. The pain will let it burn you out, so only what's real is left, okay? So that's what I'm getting. You also have uniqueness. All right, so we have change, higher purpose, and uniqueness. So this is really about embracing some of that Uranus energy of being weird, being a futurist. Higher purpose and uniqueness. Don't be afraid to really think outside the box this week. Because here's the thing. A lot of you already know what your higher purpose is. You know why you incarnated here. But then, how can you really make it yours? How can you make it unique? How can you make it come from the heart? And the way that you're going to do that is actually by change. So I understand, and the resistance that I'm picking up on is some of you, or not even resistance, just kind of like a thing where like a lot of you are like, well, I change all the time. Like, I don't know how I could change more than I already do. And if that's the case, like, you're stuck in a cycle of constantly changing. Like, so maybe if that's the case, then you just need to sit in a dark room and meditate, okay? Like, do you understand? I think you do. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this. I really like this reading. It's an interesting one. It's going to be interesting to do. Your opportunity this week is the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is really about making yourself emotionally happy here, Sagittarius, and more so than that even, this is the card of magic manifestation and synchronicity and having everything that you want to come to you on its own accord, like almost like effortless manifestation. Now, since this is your opportunity, Sagittarius, I would be paying very close attention to synchronicity in your life. The universe is going to be communicating to you this week through subtle energy. Like, what I'm getting is to the point where you're going to have so much knowledge about your uniqueness and your higher purpose and what changes you need to make that you are going to have to go in a room and be like, this is really what it is. Okay, like, you're going to be getting so many downloads this week. You're going to be so tapped into spirit this week, it might scare you a little bit. And so the reason why change is here is because there needs to be something about how you process that in a different way than usual, okay? Because, just understand something about that. Now, this definitely has to do with your career for a lot of you as well. Like, it's because your higher purpose is generally tied up to that. So, okay, we're going to have to see. Now, the Nine of Cups in your opportunity as well. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. The challenge is the Four of Swords here, Sagittarius. And so the Four of Swords has to do with healing. And it could be a challenge for you to heal something in order to really step into your uniqueness or your higher purpose is what I'm getting. The Four of Swords is about taking time out for yourself. It's about regeneration, recuperation, healing, deep healing. It's also about stability. So your challenge may be the number 4 is about stability. So there could be a challenge to really harness that uniqueness, that higher purpose, and say, well, how do we make this stable? Because right now, you're so tapped in, you're getting so many downloads, but you're still having a hard time like making it stable. Okay? But it's going to feel good what's coming to you. Like, what I'm pulling that you're going to be pulling this week, it feels good. But then it's just like, if you're not careful, it's just going to go away. All right. So then, and some of you, there could be, no, I'm not going to do that. All right. Your overall general energy is the Nine of Swords, the Nine of Wands, and also the Queen of Wands. So the 9 has to do with a cycle being completed here, starting to come to an end, really. And so now the interesting thing about this 9 of Swords is usually a really bad card, right? It usually has to do with you staying up late at night, not being able to think straight. This could have to do with the implementations that we've been speaking of, but the interesting thing is it came out neutral. When it flew out of the deck, this was a jumper. It stayed neutral. And what this tells me is that pain is neutral, Sagittarius. There is something about you really dealing with this uniqueness and this higher purpose that's been on your heart for a while. Now, you have the Queen of Wands as well, so this is you doing your fiery thing this week. I feel like there's going to be a lot of passion involved, but sometimes passion can burn. So what that 9 of Swords, 9 of Wands is tied up to, we're going to have to see. It's an interesting thing. There also could be, if you're in any type of love thing, like any type of committed love thing, I really feel like both people are feeling like really wounded here. Both people feel very burned. For those of you dealing with an on and off thing, your most recent love connection or the current love connection that you're in, both of you feel very burned at this point. And so whether or not you feel burned. So I'm telling you, if you're single, this is your ex. If you're in a situationship, this is the person. Or if you're in a commitment, this is like, there's someone prominent on your brain. There could also be a few people that both of you feel like equally burned by the other. So just be aware of that. Now, when it comes to your what you don't see coming, you have the Hermit, the Knight of Cups, and you also have the Three of Swords here. And the first intuitive message that's coming through here, Sagittarius, there's something about understanding that in order to really understand the sweetness of life, you have to take on the sour with it. Okay? Listen, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is grandiose, big, right? It's kind of like Zeus. It's the king of the gods. Sagittarius is the favorite of the gods. Sagittarius is the Don Juan of the zodiac. And the reason why this change card is here, when it comes to what energy do you need more of, is because there's some sort of like way that you are avoiding deep transformation and pain through just being like you want to experience everything at the same time, and it's not focused. Like, you need to get a little bit more this week. Like, the reason why this person has all their ducks in a row is because they know exactly what they want. They use spiritual energy in order to make this happen. Many of you use spiritual energy, but in a different way. It's time to channel it. It's time to focus it in a single pointed direction. And for those of you that are even pointed already, for those that are like, dude, like, I'm a licensed psychologist, all I do every single day is psychology, etc. There's still something coming through about, well, you're still using everything we're talking about within that paradigm. Get out of the paradigm. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing my best to translate a frequency, so please don't get attached to the words and listen to the vibes. It's not about the words I'm saying. Translate the frequency with how you deal with subtle energy. Because now, for a lot of you, with the Hermit, the Hermit, the Knight of Cups, and also the Three of Swords here, I feel like there's going to be a conflicting love situation in your life this week. And this isn't what you don't see coming. Very unsure of what... I'm sorry. This is really what it is. That was kind of just a bonus. This is you and someone being very unsure about whether or not you should reconcile. Okay, for a lot of you, this is an ex. For a lot of you, situationship. For a lot of you, it's whether do we stay or leave in a commitment. Don't expect yourself to figure out your love situation this week. You're going to figure out your love situation after the 19th of May. So maybe towards the end of the week you will. But I'm telling you, on the 19th there's a new moon, and so just wait until then. You'll figure out your love situation then. But there's also something here, Sagittarius. When it comes to your advice from Spirit, you have the Magician, you have the Hierophant, and you also have the Six of Swords. So with this energy here being in your advice from Spirit, once again, the Six of Swords has to do with change, but now the Magician has to do with these are two very spiritual cards that have to do with your soul. Remember, Sagittarius is like literally one of the best signs to be a spiritual leader and be a spiritual teacher. And that Spirit is advising you to use your spiritual energy to become some sort of authority or to learn from some sort of new authority. Once again, you have uniqueness and higher purpose. So with that, I feel like you're going to be, tapping into that potential. The Magician has to do with potential, also using spiritual energy. And then you have the Hierophant, which is more traditional, though. This represents some sort of bridge, like some sort of man-made bridge from the heavens to the earth. And so when we're talking about uniqueness and higher purpose, Spirit is advising you, like, there should be some sort of traditions that you uphold, but also some that you break from. Does that make sense? So I know this reading is all over the place. It's a little sticky in here, so bear with me. But let's go ahead and start clarifying the rest of this reading. Let's go ahead and see why the Nine of Cups is here in your opportunity. All right. Well, you have a lot of you, there could be an opportunity for you to be single. I'm going to be honest. Hold on. The Nine of Cups is clarified by the Knight of Cups, the Four of Pentacles, and also the Six of Cups here. When it comes to, you need to figure this out, Sagittarius. This is coming through as the love thing. You need to figure this out. Your opportunity, the Knight of Cups, has to do with your romantic side. The Four of Pentacles has to do with stability, and also the Six of Pentacles has to do with the past here. Okay, so someone that once again, I'm talking about someone that you're already dealing with. This is not a love reading about a new person. This is a love reading about the person you've been dealing with. And the person, whether it's your ex, situationship, commitment, you've been dealing with them. You need to either leave or you need to stay. Point blank. Like, there's an opportunity for you to get really clear on that. Now, for those of you not dealing with the love thing, the Nine of Cups to the Four of Pentacles, you need to really use that Jupiter energy of kind of like putting a spice of romance on your quest in life. Once again, because you need more higher purpose, uniqueness, and change. This is really, don't be afraid to really get romantic about this. A lot of you are going to be tapping into your past lives as well. A lot of you have this understanding that, yes, past lives are kind of just more so parallel incarnations that are all happening now because the past is a human construct. When we zoom out, when we go from the highest perspective, everything is happening now. But from our limited brains can only understand it as the past. So some of you, what this is about is like literally thinking that you're the reincarnation of like Leonardo da Vinci. If that's what you got to do, then that's what you got to do. Like, this is something about really the Six of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Four of Pentacles. Like, what I'll say is this. What's connected to its past has power. What is focused, stabilized, and connected to its past has power. What is erratic, all over the place, and indecisive falls with the wind. So there's something about connecting with your past. This could also be something about a synchronicity that was shown to you a long time ago that now comes full circle that you're like, wow, I can't believe that happened. That's just for some of you. All right, so let's keep going. Why is the Four of Swords in your challenge, though? I mean, the Four of Swords in your challenge is clarified the Six of Swords, the Four of Cups, okay. The Six of Swords, the Four of Cups, the Lovers, the Eight of Swords, the Empress, the Seven of Cups, the Death card, and the Two of Swords. Yeah, that's definitely to do with this love situation in terms of you need to heal from a love. There's something that's eating away at your heart. There's some sort of, dare I even say, yeah, this is unfinished passion, unfinished business that you have. So whether this is an ex, what I'm getting is this is your most recent person or it's one of your most recent people that you can't get out of your head, and they're also doing the same thing. You may even be communicating with them from time to time at this point, for those of you in that situation. The challenge here, the challenge is to really, like, you have to make a decision in your mind. You have to make a decision in your mind about this love situation, Sagittarius, or else, I'm telling you. Okay, I'm telling you. Now, I'm just going to skip right to your advice. What is your advice? Let's get some more advice for Sagittarius, please, for this week. Why is the Magician here? We're actually going to run through all this advice today, because sometimes I don't do that. I feel called to do that for you right now. Why is the Magician here when it comes to... well, first of all, this is definitely focused on some sort of joint venture or career. You have the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is something about getting going with work. It usually has to do with learning from someone or you teaching someone, and it has to do with joint ventures. So there's a lot of potential that you and someone in your life have to create a business together, to go into work together, etc. You need to tap into your potential so that happens. Now, what I'm getting for you, Sagittarius, is this. Hope you're paying attention. Wherever you're at, there's a new level that will be given to you if you can act on your potential fully. So let me just, and this is social. This is social connections. For a lot of you, Sagittarius, there's something here about if you put in the work, your idols are gonna become your rivals, or you're gonna be working with people that literally Kobe Bryant used to dream of celebrate Michael Jordan, and now he works alongside him, that type of energy. But if you don't put in the work, you're still gonna have a blessed life. You're still gonna have an amazing Jupiter energy of your life, but it's just gonna be one level down. This is especially for those of you that are in spiritual work, or any work, really. It's like there is something about climbing the ranks, is what I'm picking up on. And the degree to which you do want to is up to you, but you can really go far with people and have that sense of community. Or if it's just a solo mission, some of you, this is going to be, depending on some of your other placements, a solo mission, but you do need to learn from someone in that case. Let's see what a Hierophant is here in your... and just using that spiritual energy, grounding it, Three of Pentacles. Why is the Hierophant here? I do think you're going to be teaching people too, though, no matter who you are. Why is the Hierophant here in your advice? Why is the Hierophant here? The Hierophant in your advice for this week is clarified by the Page of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the Ace of Wands here. The Page of Pentacles is the sign of the person who's willing to do the dirty work, the person who's willing to expand their higher purpose and do the dirty work necessary in the physical in order to make that happen. You have the Hierophant. Whenever a duplicate comes out, I ask the universe in these readings, hey, don't show me a duplicate unless what I said is not really on point. So, and then you have the Ace of Wands, new beginning, inspiration, really acting on your inspiration and being willing to do the dirty work and doing it in a passionate way. A lot of you are running into an issue, and I'm getting this very strongly. A lot of you are running into an issue this week, Sagittarius, about, yes, I am passionate about this new venture. Yes, I am passionate about my higher purpose and my uniqueness, but there's this part of it that I don't really want to do. Okay, some of you, this may be things like media. Like I like creating content. I don't like uploading videos. I love spirituality. I don't want to feel, and this is, I don't want to feel like an idiot. I don't want to have to restart and learn astrology. Let's say you were a Zen master. Let's say you worked with one element of spirituality your whole life. Now there's a new one opening up that you have to go to expand your higher purpose. A lot of you don't like the fact that you're going to be new. A lot of you don't like the fact that there's a lot of people who are ahead of you because you think there's something weird about your ego with that. I'm going to be honest. Now, for others of you here, this has to do with to gear back and focus on love. Spirit is really telling you, figure this out with this love person. The Hierophant, the Ace of Wands, and the Page of Pentacles tells me there needs to be a new beginning. What the advice is honestly telling me is the person that you're struggling with, you should probably just let go of. I'm going to be honest. The person that you're struggling with, for most of you, Spirit is telling me that you have a better option, but you need to restart. Or you need to really do the dirty work. So it's not one or the other. You need to use your intuition as well. Why is the Six of Swords here for you, though? Final card of clarification. Why is the Six of Swords here? What do you need to move away from? What is this trying to tell me? All right. Well, the Six of Swords is clarified by the Ace of Pentacles. So you need to move away from something of whatever is going on in your past. Once again, I'm getting the download. Change. You need to. This is your past. This is what you do on a daily basis. Change it. And start this new thing. The Ace of Pentacles is a new beat. No matter how you cut it, the Ace of Pentacles is a new beginning in the physical world. And it does not surprise me whatsoever with your advice being the Three of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, and now you have the Ace of Pentacles alongside with the Hierophant and the Ace of Wands. Let's go, baby!